Today we're gonna be reacting to someone that might be better than Zack films. They have Roblox animations, but they're wholesome. Mr. Alex. Let's see if they're better.
A struggling young mechanic was about to close his failing shop for good
No.
when a frantic woman pulled up in a smoking, broken-down car. She was crying, holding a baby, and begging for help. She explained she had an interview in the morning for a job that would save them from being homeless, but her engine was completely ruined,
Oh my
and she
gosh.
didn't have a single penny. Even though he couldn't afford it, the mechanic spent his own last few dollars on parts and worked through the freezing night to rebuild her engine.
Oh my god. Okay, yo, W mechanic so far. I hate to say it, but like, would you want to go to like some sort of doctor or some sort of nurse for your baby or something? Because I think they had a problem with the baby.
Handed her the keys the next morning, wishing her luck. She promised she would never forget him, but they never saw each other again.
No. Come on, bruh.
Years later, the mechanic was an old man, and his
Oh my
beloved shop
gosh.
was scheduled to be forcefully demolished by a ruthless real estate empire
Yo!
to build a luxury mall. Standing in front of the bulldozers, he refused to move. The furious CEO of the company
Wait, don't tell me it's the girl, bruh. Don't tell me it's
arrived
the
in a
girl.
black limousine to personally have him arrested. But when the fierce billionaire stepped out, she took one look at the old man's face and completely froze. She immediately ordered the bulldozers to leave. It was the frantic mother from years ago. That repaired car
my
had gotten her to the
gosh.
exact interview that started her entire empire. Instead of destroying his shop, she bought the entire block, fully renovated his garage, and made sure he never had to worry about money again.
Okay, yo, hey, y'all never know, bro. A good deed can go so far in life, bro. Just give value, but don't expect anything in return because that's a bad mindset.
This teenage boy completely cut off his older brother after he abandoned their family to join one of the city's most feared criminal gangs. For years, the older brother became infamous for violent robberies, cartel deals, and brutal shootouts. Meanwhile, the younger boy lived in constant shame. He ignored every letter his brother tried to send him and promised himself he would never become anything like him.
I know we only watched one video so far, but this joint got me kind of emotional, bro.
Then one stormy night, the police suddenly arrived at his front door. The younger brother froze in fear,
Oh my
convinced they were
gosh.
there to arrest him too. But instead, the police chief slowly removed his hat and delivered devastating news.
No
His older
way.
brother had been killed during a massive cartel raid. Before leaving, the chief handed him a small blood-stained lockbox, recovered from the scene. Alone in his room, he opened the lockbox. Inside was a silver police badge.
Wait. Oh my gosh. Don't tell me Wait, was the brother an undercover cop the whole time?
And a handwritten diary. He opened the first page and froze. His brother had never truly been a criminal. He was an undercover agent who had sacrificed everything to destroy the cartel from the inside. At the
Oh my. Hey, yo, bow down my respects, bro. Oh my. Yo.
very end of the diary, one final sentence was written in shaky handwriting. I'm sorry you had to hate me, but I needed you to stay safe.
Yo, if my brother did that, bro, yo, that's just too much, man. I couldn't handle that. Cause all that time, you built all that hate, right? Built it over time. You hate your brother. What the heck? Why you joined the cartel or some crazy gang? But then all of a sudden, he was doing that, just trying to protect you and to help the world. Gosh, man.
A young boy was the only person in town who dared speak to the creepy old woman everyone called the witch, while other kids
Why?
threw rocks at her windows and ran away terrified.
What kind of kids do that nowadays, bro?
He helped her carry groceries and listened to her strange stories for hours.
What
The
strange
townspeople
stories, bro?
constantly warned him to stay away, convinced the woman was cursed and dangerous, but the boy ignored them. Just before the old woman died, she handed him a filthy metal coin as a final thank you for his kindness. Thinking it was worthless junk, the boy tossed it into a drawer and forgot about it. 10 years later, his life completely fell apart. Now drowning in debt, the grown man was hunted down by a ruthless criminal syndicate. One night,
What?
armed
Okay, yo. This is out of nowhere, bro. Bro was just plotting plot devices into the story. But you know,
The gang members cornered him inside a dark alley, preparing to execute him on the spot. Desperate
Now-
and out of options, the terrified man reached into his pocket and held out the only thing he had left, the dirty coin from the old woman. The moment the crime boss saw it, his face went completely pale. He
What?
instantly dropped his weapon and ordered every single gangster to bow their heads.
Holy aura! Hold on, wait, what? Wait, what happens?
The crazy witch everyone feared was
Was the game
actually the
a late-
founder of the city's most powerful mafia family, and the coin in his hand meant nobody was allowed to touch him.
I know Mr. Alex was just plotting plot devices into the story, but at least it makes sense, yo. This is kind of cool.
A young boy was always deeply embarrassed by his father, who worked as the local school
Oh
janitor.
my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh, not one of these stories, bro.
Every day, the other kids would point and laugh at the dad's dirty
fucked up,
uniform,
bro.
and the boy would hide his face, pretending he didn't know him. When the boy begged for a brand new gaming console for his birthday, his
Oh my.
father looked down and softly said, I'm
don't have
sorry,
enough."
we just can't afford it. Angry and resentful, the boy promised himself.
Oh my, yo, I actually hate this, bro. I'm gonna lie, bro. be grateful for what you have because
He would grow up, get rich, and leave his poor life behind forever. He studied day and night, ignoring his father, and eventually received a mysterious, full scholarship to a prestigious university. Years passed, the boy became a wildly successful millionaire CEO, but he barely ever called or visited his dad. Then one afternoon, he received a devastating phone call.
His dad died.
Father had suddenly passed away.
Gosh.
The wealthy son returned to clean out his father's tiny apartment, but while packing, he discovered hidden paychecks, night shift schedules, and old tuition bills from his university. Confused, he rushed to the university that had supposedly given him the scholarship, demanding to know who the anonymous donor was. That's when he discovered the painful truth. His father had spent years working exhausting jobs just to secretly pay for his university tuition. A young...
This is, That's why you should never give up on your family who works so hard to take care of you, except if they mistreat you. No, that's facts, bro. No, that's facts, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Your parents, for those parents that work hard and day to feed you, to put food on the table, to pay for the internet, you know what I'm saying, so that you can steal a brain rot. Hey, bro, give them a hug, y'all. Oh my gosh.
A brave firefighter rushed into a blazing building to save a trapped baby girl. He managed to shield her from the flames with his own body, but he suffered severe burns that permanently scarred his face and hands. Because of his devastating injuries, he could no longer work. He eventually lost his home and ended up living on the street.
What? No, I ain't gonna lie, I think this happens to some heroes. Like, I think some military people experience this.
Completely forgotten by the city he had once risked his life to protect. For 20 years, he struggled to survive. One freezing night.
20 years. That's a lot of years, y'all. That's a lot of years.
The old firefighter collapsed outside a crowded restaurant after not eating for days. Most people just walked past him in disgust, except for one elegant young woman who immediately rushed over to help. As the paramedics lifted the exhausted old man into the ambulance, she noticed a small burn scar on his face. The woman froze. She recognized the scar immediately. Tears instantly filled her eyes. She was the little girl he had saved 20 years earlier. It turned out she had grown up to be a wealthy and famous businesswoman. The very next day, she bought the old firefighter a beautiful house, paid for his medical treatment, and publicly declared him the greatest hero she had ever known.
Okay, alright, bro. Alright, yo, make it a little bit more realistic, and you got me crying, alright? Mysterious girl out of nowhere, super wealthy, bro. This is a similar story to that. I don't know what it was, but it was a similar story we watched before.
An old millionaire was on his deathbed, but his greedy family only cared about one thing, his fortune. While his kids and grandkids argued outside his hospital room about who would get his massive mansion, none of them actually went inside to see him. The only person who kept him company was a teenage pizza delivery boy named Leo. Leo used to deliver to the old man's house, and when he heard he was sick, he started visiting him on his lunch breaks. Leo would sit for hours, listening to the old man's stories and treating him like an actual human being, not a bank.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Hey, y'all, you gotta treat everyone with respect, y'all. Hey, this pizza boy better get $1 million gajillion.
When the old man finally passed away, his family rushed to the lawyer's office with giant smiles on their faces. But when the will was read, they were left in absolute shock. The old man left his family exactly $1 single each. His entire $50 million fortune was left to Leo. But the best part, Leo didn't buy sports cars or expensive clothes. Remembering the old man's stories about how he lost his wife to a rare disease, the teenager used every single penny to build a massive free children's hospital, and he named it right after his best friend, an old millionaire.
Damn, bro. Damn, hey, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Hey, just do good things, y'all. I'm seriously, I don't know what it is. It's just the universe that rewards good people.
A desperate thief broke into a wealthy family's mansion in the middle of the night. While stuffing expensive jewelry into his bag, he heard a terrifying gasping sound coming from the nursery. He crept inside and saw a 6-month-old baby turning purple, silently choking on a small plastic toy, knowing he would definitely get arrested if he made a sound. The thief made a shocking choice. He dropped his stolen loot, rushed to the crib, and performed first aid until the baby coughed up the toy and started crying. Before the parents could run in, the thief jumped out the window and vanished into the night, leaving all the money behind.
Oh my gosh, bro, but please have CCTV cameras, bro. Hey, that robber better get $1 again, bro.
The thief thought he got away completely unseen, but he didn't know the nursery had a hidden security camera that clearly caught his face. But 20 years later, the thief was old, homeless, and starving on the streets.
But they didn't see what he did? Come on, bro, come on. Yo, make it make sense, bro.
Suddenly, 2 men in black suits surrounded him. He thought his criminal past had finally caught up to him. Instead of taking him to jail, they brought him back to that exact same mansion. The wealthy father stepped forward and opened a briefcase filled with millions of dollars.
But wasn't this, bro? This was 20 years later, bro.
Father handed him an old printed photo from the security camera and smiled warmly. "You dropped your loot to save my son 20 years ago," he said. "Consider this your delayed payment."
I mean, hey, it's at least it was rewarded, bro. Hey, at least he's rewarded, bro. Forced to be a thief, born to be a hero. Facts, bro.
This little boy desperately wanted to learn how to play music, but his parents couldn't even afford to pay rent.
Oh my
Seeing
god.
him
Hey, you better have the craziest come-up story, bro. Why am I so emotional with these stories that they're clearly fake?
playing with a stick, pretending it was an instrument, a kind, elderly neighbor gifted him a scratched, dusty violin that had been sitting in her attic for 50 years. It looked terrible.
Why she be a famous ass violinist?
But the boy practiced on it every single day. 10 years later, the boy was now a struggling adult, working minimum wage jobs just to keep his parents out of a homeless shelter. With no options left, he took the dusty old violin to a small music shop, hoping to get maybe $50 to buy groceries for the week.
Don't tell me, hey, I'm gonna predict this. Don't tell me that violin was somehow a famous violinist violin, and now you can sell that for $1 bajillion.
The shop owner examined it quietly.
I'm ready?
Then suddenly asked,
Where
did you get this?
Oh my gosh. I knew it, bro. I know your storytelling structure, but hey,
It turned
let's
out
keep
the
watching.
violin wasn't fake or worthless at all. It was a rare handmade violin from a famous European maker, and collectors were willing to pay huge amounts for instruments like it because of their incredible sound quality and age. The violin sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. That dusty old gift the boy used to practice alone in his room ended up saving his entire family from poverty.
Hey, W save, bro. W save.
A young college student was working night shifts at a diner just to keep her family from going hungry. One night, while cleaning a booth, she found a leather wallet stuffed with over $10,000 in cash. Her family was going to be evicted the very next day.
What?
And this money could solve all their problems.
Oh, nah, this is a crazy scenario, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. If a pile of money was on the floor, at least 10K, nowhere to be seen, just there. No, I swear there's a story where someone picked up a bag of money, like 10K or something, returned it to police, and found out that it was actually meant for someone, and then they rewarded the guy $50 or $100.
But knowing what it felt like to lose everything, she walked 3 miles
Oh
in the
my
dark to return the
gosh.
wallet to the address on the ID. An angry, grumpy old man snatched the...
Maybe if there's a wallet, okay, that makes sense. If there's just a random bag of money with no address, yeah, I might have to take a little something. But if there's a wallet, definitely return it, bro.
the wallet from her hands without
Yeah,
even saying
do this,
thank
y'all.
you, and
Do
slammed
this.
the door in her face.
Okay, that's fricked up, bro. And we're throwing him, bro.
The girl walked home completely devastated,
I'll
knowing her
be
family
mad
would be on
too.
the streets tomorrow. But the next morning, she woke up to a knock on her door. It wasn't the landlord, it was a lawyer. He handed her a
Gito?
legal document stating that her family's apartment building had just been purchased in full, and the deed was now in her name.
Whoa.
The grumpy old man had actually been testing people for years to find a worthy heir to his massive fortune, and her honesty just...
Holy Urus! Bro, she just got a Urus and a McLaren, bro. And I think there's a Lambo in the back.
Honesty just made her a multi-millionaire.
Okay, yeah, do this, y'all. Hey, do this. Hey, no, but seriously, like, if you find a wallet and there's an address inside, return it. Be a good Samaritan. Do not take it.
This homeless man had been saving for weeks, finally scraping together $20 to buy a warm blanket for the winter. But on his way to the store, he saw a young woman in front of the train station. She told him her purse had been stolen, and she was stranded with no way to get back to her family. Without hesitation...
Alright, come on. I'm about to predict the story. Okay, he gives her the money. Now, then she gets back home. 20 years later, the girl somehow finds the homeless man and then gives the homeless man $1 bajillion. Let me guess.
The man gave her the last $20 he
go.
had.
Okay, that's one.
She hugged him, asked
Okay.
his name, and promised she would never forget him. The man smiled, thinking he would never see her again. But a week later, a car suddenly stopped in front of his alley. The same woman stepped
here
out,
we go.
but this time with a smile. It turned out she wasn't trying to get home for herself. She
It's a
was
social
rushing to the
experiment?
hospital because her little brother needed an emergency blood donation, and she was the only match. Because of that homeless man's last $20, she made it just in time and saved her brother's life. When the hospital heard
Okay, I didn't expect that part.
what he did, they found him, treated his injuries, gave him a warm room, and helped him get back on his feet. He gave away the only thing that could keep him warm, and somehow, it became the reason he was never left in the cold again. This
Let's go. But you know what? I think we watched like 20 videos so far, and I honestly gotta say, they're pretty wholesome, and I love Roblox animations because they're pretty tough. And yeah, there you guys have it. Mr. Alex is definitely wholesome. If you guys want to see more content like this, click this video here.